Hey guys, what is up? Satellarknight here, and I'm going to do an updated deck profile of my Satellarknight deck. Sorry it's coming so late after the ban list. I've been testing it a lot, and I actually made a new test idea for the Satellars, which I tested out on devpro. Can't test it out on Dueling Network; they got shut down. Tested out on devpro for about 2 hours tonight, and I did not lose a single game with it. So this is that same build -1 break sword, which I should be getting tomorrow, I believe. I'm buying a break sword from one of my friends for about $20, so pretty cheap compared to what it's usually priced at. So I don't have a side deck for this, just the main deck and extra, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so for your monsters, Tellarknight wise, you run the standard triple Deneb, triple Altair, the newer setup was the triple Unukalhai, which is honestly very, very different. If my camera will focus, there we go. Very different from my usual build of tellers. Let me see if I can rearrange this. See, the cards better that way. But anyway, the Unukalhai at 3 is newer for Satellars. It has been ever since the ban list was released that put R.O.T.A to 1. Which, the reason why we have Unukalhai at 3 is because you can't up Deneb any higher, so you just need the way to bring out your Deneb and get it into the grave or whatever you need to do to summon it. And then the last 2 Tellarknight monsters I run, of course, are the 2 Vega. And now, here's where it gets interesting. The only thing for the other archetype that's in this deck is monsters. And I run a total of 5 monsters from that archetype, making it, let's see, 11 plus 5 would be 16 monsters total in the deck, which actually runs really nicely. So, triple Ancient Cloak, and 2 Silent Boots. Ancient Cloak is pretty good for Burning Abyss. Let me get it up here. I mean, not Burning Abyss, for Phantom Knights. This way you can read the effect. If this card is in attack position, you can target one dark monster on the field, change this card to defense, and if you do, that monster gains 800 attack and defense until the end of your opponent's turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 the Phantom Knights card from your deck to your hand, except Ancient Cloak. You can only use each effect of the Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak once per turn. Which, honestly, that's pretty reasonable, the once per turn. Wish my camera would do the autofocus that it usually does. Which, I mean, once per turn you can use each effect, so pretty nicely. And then Silent Boots is like a Burning Abyss, I guess you could say. If you control the Phantom Knights monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon the Phantom Knights of Silent Boots once per turn. This way. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 Phantom Knight spell/trap card from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of the Phantom Knights of Silent Boots once per turn. You don't use the second effect in this deck unless you end up with a Fog Blade. I'm still hoping to randomly pull 3. That's how I got my break sword that I have. I was trying to get a bunch of 4 Strix for my friend. So we bought it, and we managed to pull a total of 6 secret rares, which were 2 4 Strix, 1 break sword, and let's see, 2 4 Strix, 1 break sword, 2 what is it? Satellite cannon, and 1 Diamond Crab King, which I sold because, I mean, Towers is gone, don't need it. But anyway, that gives you a little bit more options. Gives you rank 3 engine. Very small one, but it's helpful nonetheless. And then all of my not trap cards, all of my spell cards I run one of. I don't run any doubles when it comes to spells. I run the one reinforcement of the army, which you want to. One Raigeki, kind of standard in every deck now. One Upstart Goblin to make the deck more of a 39 card deck, because, I mean, it's just a draw it, activate it, draw again. Soul Charge for if you are really behind in your plays. Twin Twisters, which I could run multiple of, but I only run one. Skybridge, which I used to run 2 of until I found out that this deck works really well if you run the Phantom Knights engine, which I'm thinking about when I make my side deck. I'm thinking about putting in BLS, Envoy of the Beginning, I believe. I always forget what it's Envoy of. And then the last spell is Instant Fusion, because Norden's at 1. No point in using multiple Instant Fusion. And then for the traps, I run a bunch of doubles. I only have 3 traps that are one-ofs. So, for the traps, you have your triple Tellarknight Alpha, which you don't want to run less than 3 of. Your triple Call of the Haunted, which you also don't want to run less than 3 of unless for some reason you've gone crazy. And then for in case you get, that's it for the triples, by the way. But in case you brick turn 1, you run multiple Mirror Force cards. You run 2 Drowning, also known as Rippling Mirror Force. 2 Quaking, and those are the Mirror Force cards in here, aside from a Storming, which is at 1. Thinking about dropping Fiendish Chain to 1 or something and moving Storming up to 2. Then you run double Oasis and double Fiendish. That's it for the doubles. For the one-ofs, you run Solemn, Bottomless, and Storming, which the Solemn may actually be what goes instead of the Fiendish Chain, but I don't know yet. I'm still trying to decide. But that is it for the main tech. A total of 40 cards, which is 16 monsters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spells, which that's a total of 22, so that makes it to where there are 18. Oh wait, no, that makes it 20. It's 22 or 23, so that means 17 or 18 traps. So, go ahead and get to the extra. For your extra deck, you run Triple Triver. Very good if you get it in a loop, because then you really only summon the same 2 over and over again, unless one gets Solemn Warning. Then you only summon one once, and then you're summoning, then you've gone through all 3 in a game, basically. But Triver is one of my favorites. You just summon it, bounce everything on the field, then discard something from your opponent's hand, and then attack. Or if you run Wonder XZs, which I'm thinking about putting that in the side deck also, your opponent, they can go all out, go through their normal summons and pendulum summon a lot, then bring out a bunch of things from their extra deck, and then Wonder XZs, because I have 3 Tellarknight monsters on the field. Overlay for Triver. Triver sends everything back to the hand. You just lost your entire field. Is basically what you do to your opponent. And if you do it correctly, they actually end up having to discard cards at the end of their turn, which is very helpful. Next, I run 2 Tellarknight Deltaros. Sorry, I'm having memory problems right now. It is very, very early in the morning. It's after 3 o'clock in the morning right now, actually. So, double Delteros. If you don't know what he does, you basically detach a material and destroy something on the field. Both Delteros and Triver have an effect to where if they are destroyed and sent to the grave, you get to special something from the grave or from the deck. Triver is if it's sent to the grave while it has a Tellarknight has a Xyz material, then it specials something from the grave. Delteros is if it's sent to the grave at all. Tribute, whatever, just sent to the grave. Doesn't have to have material, and it's from the deck. Triver, it has to have material, but depending on how many Trivers you have on the field, which I would not expect you to have a whole lot, but if you have multiple Trivers on the field with overlays, with overlay material, then they all, let's say your opponent uses Raigeki on a field of 3 Trivers, you get all their effects going off. So that's pretty nice. And then, because of the Burning Abyss Phantom Knight deck, I run Satellarknight Constellar Diamond, run 2 copies of that. Also for any like Burning Abyss Lightsworn decks, if I feel the need to counter, because then the Michael to send Lightsworns back to the deck, they all get banished. Simple as that, pretty nicely. But yeah, Diamond's kind of a staple in this case. And then that's it for the Tellarknight portion. The rest are either Phantom Knight or staples, which, speaking of Phantom Knight, this will become double Breaksword instead of Breaksword and Dante, which the Dante actually works pretty nicely in here, so I may end up taking something else out, like Dark Rebellion XZs or something, because I don't really summon Dark Rebellion that much anymore. That way I have the Dante in here still. Give me more options. I may also end up putting in a 3rd Silent Boots, I don't know. But anyway, Breaksword is pretty nice. Since it's a newer card, I'll go ahead and put it up here so you can read the effect. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, then target 1 card you control and 1 card your opponent controls. Destroy them. If this Xyz summon card is destroyed, you can target 2 Phantom Knight monsters with the same level in your graveyard, special summon them, and increase their levels by 1. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except dark monsters. So, if you use that correctly, since it says for the rest of this turn, if you'll focus. There we go. Yeah, for the rest of the turn. Then you can go through all of your Satellarknight plays. And for some reason this is not focusing. There we go. You can go through all your Tellarknight plays, which will get you 3 Tellarknights on the field. Then you use Breaksword's effect to destroy itself and something your opponent controls. It then brings out a Silent Boots and an Ancient Cloak from your grave, increases their levels by 1. You overlay all 5 for 86, which I will get to in a minute. Now, that is how you win games. I did that a few times. It's very nice. So Breaksword and Dante are both in here kind of as the Phantom Knight support of the deck. Because Dante, if you use its effect and you get a really good mill, you have a few Tellarknight cards in the grave for your Altair plays. Which is Vega Altair Deneb or Vega Altair Unukalhai or Vega Altair Vega if you have a Vega in the grave and you don't have anything else, which is very rare. But anyway, for the one-ofs, which are definitely staples, you have Dark Rebellion XZs, which might turn into a Breaksword. Number 86, Hero Champion, I say Ragnarok because I have no clue how to say that. Rungaminiad, it looks like. Which 86 is really nice. use his effect if you bring him out using 5 materials, destroy everything your opponent controls. If you bring him out with 4, your opponent cannot normal or special summon, but they can set. If you bring it out with 3, it's unaffected by other card effects. If you bring it out with 2, it gains 1500 attack. If you bring it out with 1, it cannot be destroyed by battle. However, you don't want to bring it out with 1. Actually, you can only bring it out using 2 or more. Yeah, 2 or more. Sorry, I'm looking at these through my camera so that I know that it's focusing. But it is every time it well, the more materials it has, the more effects it has. So if you bring it out with 5, it has the fifth effect, which is destroy everything your opponent controls, plus your opponent cannot normal or special, and the unaffected by the card effects and all that stuff, which is really nice. Next you have Castell, which is very, very helpful in this deck. Your opponent, let's say your opponent has out, just something random, I guess. Using Monarchs, they bring out something. Remove 2, send it back to the deck. And by something random, it can be anything. It doesn't even have to be a monster, it can be a spell or trap. So you have this on the field, they activate Domain. You were about to go into a driver play on your next turn, and they just decide to activate Domain. On your turn, you can send Domain back to the deck. Next, which this may actually end up being what I take out for the Break Sword, because I've actually decided that I really want to leave in that Dante. It actually helps. But Evil Swarm Ouroboros, which, if you don't know what it does, I'll put it up here so you can read it as well instead of trying to understand my horrible talking right now. You bring it out using 3 level 4 monsters. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, then activate one of these effects. Each effect can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. It's basically a Trishula. Target 1 card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Send 1 random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard, and target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard, banish it. And sorry about that little it going like way up here. I'm recording with my phone, which usually has an autofocus. There we go. But it doesn't right now for some reason, and it went down to 20% of battery, which is good for me because this video is almost over and I can upload it for you guys. But it is actually the 7th right now of July, so this will actually no, technically it's the 8th now, so I will most likely have it up for you later today to see. Next card is number 101, Silent Honor Arc, which, if you don't know what it does and you've gotten a bunch of the Wing Raiders packs, I don't know how you don't know what it does, because I have multiple of it from that pack. I actually have about 18 101 Silent Honor Arc from that pack. And then I have the Ultra Rare one, which I really like. But anyway, 101, if you don't know what it does, it's basically you have a face-up attack position, special summon monster. I'm taking it for this card to have an Xyz material, since I'm removing 2 to take your monster. And then if you attack this monster or Dark Hole or whatever, I will detach 1 material from it to keep this monster from dying. And that is literally what 101 Silent Honor Arc does. You bring it out using 2 overlay materials, so you can't really beef it up a lot, but hey, whatever, it's pretty nice. And then finally you have Elder Entity Norden, which is sadly at 1. I really enjoyed using it in this deck at 2. But, you know, all good things have to come to an end at some point, so. Anyway, that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. if you don't know what Norden does, basically when it's special summoned at all, special summon out of level 4 or lower, which, hint hint, Phantom Knights, monster from your graveyard. So, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, and if this is the first video on my channel you have watched, please subscribe. I am going to try and put out about one video a week. Whether it's Tellarknights, Blue Eyes, which is almost finished. It's missing one Dragon Spirit of White. Which if anybody has a Dragon Spirit of White that they just want to like mail to me or something, I will have my email in the description. But yeah, so that's about it, guys. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great week. Dual Satellarknight signing off.